What's up, everybody? It is me, Anime Alex, back again for another One Piece Theory video. I hope all of you guys watched the last one, which was that how strong Ace would be after the 2-year time skip. But this time, I'm coming with a power scaling theory as to see how strong Queen and King are. The first and second commander, Yonko commanders for Kaido. Now, as we saw in chapter 935 of One Piece, we have seen Queen's actual bounty is 1,320,000,000 berries, which means that King would have a higher bounty. I'm predicting higher than Luffy's, like probably over 1.5 to maybe 1.6. I've seen a lot of people say 1.7, and I feel as if King isn't like too ahead of Queen, but I feel as if he has a higher bounty than Luffy though. So somewhere in that range. I guess let's break down Queen right now. One, we do not know what Queen's Devil Fruit is. We'll probably figure it out next chapter. A lot of people are speculating that it's a scorpion, like an ancient zone kind of scorpion zone fruit. But and I believe it's an ancient zone because judging by the fact that King's Devil Fruit's an ancient zone and Jack's Devil Fruit is an ancient zone, it leads me to think that Queen's Devil Fruit is an ancient zone since we're kind of going with a theme here. Um, as we saw in the last chapter, Queen also has a sword by his side, so he could possibly be a swordsman of some form of caliber. It's probably like all three of the commanders are swordsmen now that I think about it, because Jack has his shuttles, which are those curved blades that he kind of hides as tusks around his neck. Queen has a sword to his side, and King appears to have a katana. So all the three commanders are swordsmen. So I feel as if when they're fighting without their not in a transformation, they're using their swords to fight. Other than that, uh, I feel as if Queen is at least Katakuri level. And I know everyone is probably gonna go off, but the reason why I say that is, why would Queen have such a higher bounty than Katakuri if Katakuri has all these like strong powers, is what I'm trying to say. Like this future sight observation hockey and everything like that. Obviously the world government knows about the Yonko commanders because the Yonkos are such big shots. So why isn't Katakuri's bounty higher than what it is when Luffy faced him? There's probably a good reason for it. I would say Queen is at least at Katakuri's level or a little bit stronger. Another reason why I would say is because plot reasons is Luffy just got done fighting Katakuri, and if Queen was weaker than Katakuri, then Queen doesn't pose any threat to Luffy as of now. So that's kind of a that's kind of a problem. That's kind of a problem that I feel, and I know that bounties doesn't necessarily like describe strength, but like I've been saying that the whole bounties doesn't apply to strength. was typically used for gag characters like Buggy and Usopp, uh, and also plot reasons, as in the Straw Hats allies or the Straw Hats themselves. They don't have a large amount of bounty, but they're stronger than what they appear to be. Those are because of plot reasons. So the Yonkos and their high bounties aren't really, they're like justified. Their strength, that's what I'm trying to say. Their bounties justify their strength, as in the Yonko commanders are not gag characters, and the Yonko commanders are that high for plot reasons, because if they were weaker or strong as Katakuri, then Luffy would have no problem. Luffy would have no problem taking them down. I can say that at least Queen is Katakuri level. That is as much as a low ball I will give Queen, is he is Katakuri level, which isn't really a low ball because that's still pretty strong. I would say Katakuri is above Jack, barely, because Jack's still a monster. And the only person who is capable right now defeating all of them are well, defeating them by themselves. The only person who has shown capable to defeating them is Luffy. I could say Kid because Oda is trying to make Kid at, at that level of Luffy. And after all, Kid has defeated the fourth commander of Big Moms before, like, facing Kaido. That's confirmed. But I feel as that fourth commander of Big Moms is nowhere near the strength as Queen. So maybe Kid cannot defeat them, but there's a high probability and a chance that he has enough strength to give them a difficult time. Uh Queen right now, my predictions for this fight is Queen's gonna fight Luffy with Luffy still having the sea cuff or sea prism stone handcuffs on, but the new Kawamatsu is probably going to shoot a key, for like spit out a key from his mouth and then unlock Luffy's cuffs, and then Luffy will fight at full strength, which will probably make Queen fight at full strength, which we're gonna have another epic Yonko Commander battle. This will either have Luffy come out on top, Kid join in with Luffy, and then be a Kid and Luffy fight Queen, which would actually prove that Queen would be stronger than Katakuri, because it would take both of them to take Queen down. Or Big Mom, since she has amnesia and is being guided by Chopper and the rest, Big Mom can come in and fight Queen, and Big Mom will pro- hands down win because it's Big Mom, which would mean that which would mean kind of it'd be opting out. Well, not really opting out, but it would have to take someone stronger than Luffy and Kid, theoretically, if Kid joins that battle, to defeat Queen. Unless they'll have Kawamatsu, which is one of the retainers, defeat Queen, which that's also a possibility that I'm not going to throw out, because Kawamatsu could potentially be super strong and commander level strong, and that would serve like a huge strength boost to Kinemon's forces. This their whole Kozuki clan forces. And so that's how I feel that Queen sits. He sits right on the border of at Katakuri level or stronger than Katakuri level, for plot reasons. For this is Wano, so everyone's gonna have to be on the top of their game, and this isn't like Whole Cake Island arc. And in that it's basically, I feel like Queen is going to be the eye opener, the showcase to how strong Kaido's commanders are, and that is why I feel as if Queen is stronger than Kaido. I guess moving on to King now, and the dissection for King is that if he's first commander, he's obviously going to be stronger than the other two, even though he might be stronger than Queen by a little bit margin, judging by how Queen talks to not Kaido, talks to King like that. But what we know is King can turn into a pterosaur, or like a pterodactyl, not pterosaur. He can turn into a pterodactyl, as seen when he swooped in to take out the carps to knock off Big Mom's ship off the waterfall, or uh, as as everyone likes to say, is King defeated all of Big Mom's crew by himself, which isn't necessarily true because he did just attack the ropes that was connected by the koi fit or to the carps climbing up the waterfalls. So he takes those out. Then the ship falls, and then he doesn't have to worry about it. So he didn't defeat them directly, but he defeated them indirectly, which shows that King is smart. Uh, he's at least battle smart. So we're not gonna think of, oh, all of Kaido's men are just nothing but muscle heads like Jack. Nah, King has shown he has some intelligence to him. Furthermore, like I said, he is a swordsman. He appears to be a swordsman. He might use swordsmanship things. He's also nicknamed the Wildfire, and as you see, when he turns into his uh, pterodactyl form, he still has fire around him, which I don't know how that happens. So King might have some fire abilities. He might have that whole Shishio from Rurouni Kenshin sword style where he basically has a fire sword and is using that to his advantage. Like I said, I feel as King is at least a little over Luffy's bounty. I feel like King is over Luffy's bounty by either a little or a good margin. Um, how do I foresee fights coming against King is a lot of people say Zoro. No, that cannot happen because that if Zoro himself were to theoretically fight King right now, that would mean Zoro was hellish. Like, I mean, Zoro would have completely walked over the park in Dressrosa. Zoro wouldn't have gotten easily put down by Fujitora because if Jack is fighting, or if Jack is trying to take out Fujitora and Suru just to get back Doflamingo, not saying he won or anything, but he did that with no fear. Imagine what King would do by himself in that position. Like, imagine King's power if Jack is scared. If Jack is literally terrified of Queen and King, but he's not terrified of Fujitora and Suru, and Sengoku was on that boat, matter of fact. So if he's not afraid of Sengoku, Suru, or Fujitora going up against all three of them at the same time just to get back Doflamingo, then obviously Oda is showcasing that these two are monsters. These two are dangerous, very strong adversaries, and just huge roadblocks that the crew and the allied forces need to overcome. So obviously they're stronger. They're probably stronger. I'm not gonna say way stronger, except for King. I think King is way stronger than Katakuri, but they're obviously stronger than anything in Whole Cake Island, is what I'm trying to say. And with the little read between the lines things and how Jack acts, and it's funny because I think their whole power scaling is basically based on Jack. Because how could we? That's like the best inference we have. to know that they're power. And so that means if Zoro could 1v1 King right now, he would have been able to defeat Doflamingo because Doflamingo was scared of Jack and scared of all the other commanders of Kaido's crew. So with Zoro having, with that said, Zoro would have been stronger than Luffy. Like base form would have been stronger than Luffy, or if he gets a transformation, he would have been stronger than Luffy's G4. He would have been stronger than Katakuri. He'd be stronger than Cracker. He'd be stronger like than any person we have seen, which would make no sense because Zoro wouldn't have followed Luffy if that would be possible, if that was possible. So obviously King's battle or King's fight will not be Zoro. It will either be it will either be Luffy, it could be a double team or a triple team by Luffy, Kid, and Law. It could be or a popular theory is Marco coming. I don't know how much of that is going to be true because I feel as if Marco is setting up for another arc that's gonna come after Wano, which will be dealing with Weevil, um, which will be dealing with Weevil and how he wants to take the what is it when he wants to take Whitebeard's inheritance. So I feel that plot point is setting up for uh, another arc. So I don't know if Marco will be coming in Wano, which is really hard because frankly, I think Marco is the only person with enough power to 1v1 King. So I have to say it's either some really, really strong samurai ally that we're going to see in due time, or it's going to be Luffy, the big three of the supernovas, Luffy, Kid, and Law, attacking them. And with all that said, King, another point I want to make is that King, I know this doesn't really mention into King's strength, but we can infer that King has that Warden outfit from Impel Down, and we know that judging by Magellan's strength, that Magellan was able to easily overpower Blackbeard. He was able to easily overpower Blackbeard and his crew. And Shiryu, which is second commander for Blackbeard's pirates, that speaks volumes on King's level that King might, it's a theory, King might have been a warden at Impel Down, a former warden at Impel Down, yada, yada, yada. That would mean that King would be at the power of, around the power of Magellan and Shiryu back then. He might have gotten stronger as of now. So he has to be in this upper form and easily probably uh, admiral level. I guess we could get into with all that being said, I think we could get on to the theory fights that will happen. Like I said, Queen has Queen has a few fights to go. As of right now, I don't know if I cannot tell for sure if Queen will get taken out of the whole Wano arc or just get pushed back until he comes later. But for now, it's going to be Luffy versus Queen, and I can foresee Kid coming in. I can foresee Kid coming in to help out Luffy, and so it's going to be Queen versus Kid and Luffy. It also might be Big Mom coming in to help them, so it might just turn into Queen versus Big Mom, and Queen will either from this battle either be taken out of the entirety of Wano, which will be really big for the ally side, or he will just be pushed back and saved later for the arc. King's fights are really hard. King, I can either see that will be dealt with Luffy. He'll be either dealt with Luffy or Law, Luffy, Law, and Kid, or some other strong samurai, or if Oda decides to put Marco in this arc for whatever reason, then those are going to be the fights. I don't see I don't see Zoro fighting King for the reasons I stated. If Zoro, Sanji, and Killer fought, which I feel like Zoro, Sanji, Killer will have a tag team uh, match sometime just to show the capabilities of Kid's crew and his first commander, which is also Supernova, opposed to Zoro, who is also Supernova, and Sanji, who is as strong as any other Supernova. So I feel like those three characters will probably end up fighting Jack, but the story is kind of revolved around Inuyasha and Nekomamushi fighting Jack, and those two will probably go Sulong for him. So I I would say Neko if Cat Viper and Dogstorm will fight Jack, maybe it will lead Zoro, Sanji, and Killer to fight King, but that's still a huge jump. If anything, I could see those three fighting Queen if Queen isn't taken out immediately during the Udon prison, during the events of Udon prison, which will also just lead King to fight whoever person there is that's strong enough to fight. Maybe by the time that they're fighting, Apu, which which we haven't seen yet this whole arc, Hawkins and X Drake will just turn and fight King, which that would be pretty entertaining, and then you leave Kid, Luffy, and Law to deal damage to Kaido or fight Kaido. But I feel as if that all the supernovas minus Killer and Zoro, so all the supernova captains might just end up fighting Kaido, and everyone else. And then again, who's going to be strong enough to fight King? So that's kind of a little interesting thing, or just an interesting problem that we have right now is not enough strong, not enough like Luffy leveled people to fight the first commander of Kaido, or those three supernovas could fight Kaido, or not Kaido, or those three supernovas can fight King, and then everyone can round up and fight Kaido, which could also be a theory. So, with all that being said, I feel as if this video I hope this video showed you the level of danger and strength that both of Queen and King possesses due to a lot of inferencing from previous arcs and how a strong character like Jack can reacts to them, but he doesn't react to other strong characters like Fujitora and Suru. I hope that kind of gives a justification of of strength. So, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this theory. Hopefully, you'll check out my next theory whenever that comes out, and hope you guys have a good day. I'm out. Oh, yeah, like, share, and like, share, and subscribe. Peace.